Question 1082. Would now be the right time to introduce a much-needed age limit on driving?
What do you mean,
Jenny.
much-needed age limit?
Yeah.
We have to get Jenny's answer first.
No, there should never be an age limit on driving based, or a limit on driving based on age. It should be based on ability to do it.
So you don't think age 50 would be a cut-off point?
No, it should be your skill level and what's your reaction
Honestly,
time.
So I'm the
changes have been.
opposite. I don't think a 90-year-old person should be driving a fucking car.
That's
like
bullshit.
that in
There's
my
bullshit.
opinion.
No, I know people in the 70s and 80s who are competent on a racetrack.
Yeah, but I know people that live in Georgia who are like, 27 who can't drive a car to save their ass.
Right,
And,
that's what I'm saying. It should be competency based, not age.
I work in car insurance, and I'm with Jenny that it should be based on ability. Like they should have where you have to retest every couple of years, which I'd probably fail that test anyway. That's not the point. But they should retest every couple of years to make sure you can still fucking drive and be alerted to new laws in your state.
I thought you were going to say the opposite. I thought you were going to say I agree with Jenny. That way I can make more money off of stupid people.
Oh no. Stupid people are the ones that I don't like talking to because they're so. They're so.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Granny, what do you think?
Okay, I also have worked in insurance. That's my specialty area of law is insurance, and I did work a case where we had a guy that ran into a car because he didn't notice a school bus with its flashers on. It was right in front of the car. And he had another accident involving a school bus with flashers, like 2 weeks later. And it was really a difficult situation because the guy was 95 years old and he just didn't have the reaction time to be able to see the school flashers and stop the car in time.
Yeah.
However, I also see that people are different, and it's really impossible to put a particular age limit on. You need to have a different kind of test. It can't be a specific age.
Exactly. That's why I say that you can test every couple of years.
Just 2
Because there are
seconds.
some people. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Spooky says, yes, you shouldn't be allowed to drive until you're 35.
Damn it, Spooky.
Well, that is actually another part of it, is that in America, everybody acts as though driving is a right. No, it's a privilege. And there's a lot of people on the road in their 20s and 30s that should not be on the road at all. And we should restructure our system to get those people off the road. They're the most dangerous ones.
We need a better public transportation system is what we need.
Oh, yes.
Well,
that's
Yeah,
true.
those buses, dude. I rode on a bus when I lived in Vegas, right? And the route was only supposed to take me 10 minutes. So I left about 20 minutes early for work. I didn't get to work until an hour and 15 minutes later. Just because, I don't know what the problem was. I think the bus driver just didn't know what the hell they were doing. Either that or at one point we ran out of gas because we were stopped on the side of the road for about half an hour.
My area is the routes.
When I lived in Chepstow, I could get to work in 12 minutes at 2 a.m. And it would take me an hour and a half at 9 o'clock.
I spent my life in the car business and
That's
first
traffic.
started driving on racetracks in 1972. And I actually was going to retire from driving on the track this year, but the virus canceled all the track events, so I'm not able to. I'll have to do it next year because I want to actually formally retire at the end of an event. And never mind. But anyways, I'm retiring not because I'm incapable of doing it anymore. I'm doing it so that I just don't become somebody who shouldn't be on the track, because that can in an older person that indeed can happen in a moment's notice. I've had people die on the track who are in their 60s and 70s. Just they're driving along.
But do
and
you
they drop
have
dead.
to undergo
It happens.
for the races? Do you have to undergo physicals?
No. Well, yes. In formalized sanctioned racing, yes, there are physicals.
Right. So why should you need to have physicals for that, but not for driving on the road?
Well, that's
Where
part
there's-
of
Are we
what
talk-
should do. That's part of what.
Are
they
we
should
talking
do.
about the physical where they like grab your junk and make you cough, or like are we just talking about like an eye physical?
Check your reactions,
It should be eyes. It should be cardiac history. It should be diabetic history. It should be reaction times. It should be perception. You know, does a person
What
still
I
know
don't
what
understand, though,
a
this is
triangular
one of
sign
those
means?
things. Wait there. This is one of those things I don't understand because in America, specifically, the market should have fixed this. Because insurance should have covered it.
That's bullshit.
Insurance should have covered it.
Markets don't do anything. that's just capitalist bullshit.
Why don't you get
Markets do not
cheaper
correct
insurance for having
situations.
physicals? Why don't you get cheaper insurance for having physicals over a certain age?
It should certainly become a part of what determines your rates. My rates went up 35% because I hit 65.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
so they do go up. They just don't do it on
I haven't-
physicals. They do it on age.
I haven't had a car
They
accident.
do it on age.
Ever.
They do go up. They go down around 25 in the United States, not by much now. And depending on how long you've been driving, and then they go up when you hit age 65, because most people, unfortunately, do start losing their ability to drive normally around that age for some odd reason.
I wrote my insurance company. I said, look, you fuckers, I'll take any one of you out on the racetrack and show you that I can not only still drive, but I can scare the fuck out of you because I'll take the car 90% of its abilities. And you just won't be able to stay sane because of it. You're going to be so scared.
To be fair, here you get a 30% increase. Here it's a 30% increase in insurance just for saying you work in the motor industry.
Actually, that should be the opposite. Most people in the car industry take it very, very seriously and do not misbehave on the road because they know the tragedy of it.
That's not what the.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When you held that red fabric in your hand, I thought you were plucking string off an Elmo doll, and I got really confused for a second. I'm like, why does she have an Elmo doll? What is she doing to it? See, that's why I don't drive, because like one of the reasons why I still only have my learner's permit, right, was because I suck at driving. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I am fucking terrified of driving on highways, especially near semi trucks. And then 2, because I feel like we could be having like an important conversation like right now, and if a squirrel ran by, I'm going to lose all focus and just wonder what the hell that squirrel is doing. So that's why I'm still like very, very cautious about driving a car.
You've never been thrown. You should try being thrown across a motorway. What would you call a motorway? Try being thrown across a motorway doing 90 miles an hour because a truck went past you.
See, I'm very sensitive about it because I spent my entire driving career and I have one speeding ticket. That was 1988. 88? No, it was earlier.
It doesn't matter.
Anyways, and I've had one accident that I caused. I've been hit like 3 or 4 times by idiots, but only one accident that I've caused, and it was fairly minor. So it really, really pisses me off. Insurance rates and should somebody be licensed. We took my father off driving because my brother and I, who both of us teach high speed driving, we could tell that he was becoming dangerous on the road. Even before he ever hit anything, we said, "No, Dad, you're done driving. You're going to be dangerous any day now."
So basically, are we agreed? Are we agreed that no one thinks there should be an arbitrary age?
No.
Yes.
I think there should be an age.
You think there should be an age? What age?
I think there
What
should
age?
be an age.
What age
So-
should it be?
Like, I think it should be the age when you can't take care of yourself anymore, like 95-ish, going around there. Like, and this sounds bad, but like I'm very.
95-year-olds
There
that
is a
can
woman
drive.
in California who's 99 and is a flying instructor, for Christ's sake.
That
Right, can
scares
I?
me.
Come on, Jeff.
Chuck Yeager set the record for New York to LA in a fucking SR-71 when he was like 80 years old.
Yes.
That scares me.
All right. Right. I would not have this done upon age. so much. I think Spooky put something interesting in the chat. I mean, looking at the UK, that we had our oldest license holder in 2015 was 107 years old.
Yeah.
I should be, there should be a number of things I think you should perhaps have to do on a more regular basis. To check that you are still competent or safe to be operating a vehicle. And I don't even think that should come down to age, but it should be like, it should be things like your hazard perception, eyesight, reactions, those sort of things. I mean, now, of course, it gets into all sorts of, if it's anything like the DVLA in Britain, that could cause any sort of problem if every say 2 or 3 years you've got to take a driving test or something, because I know this was kind of discovered a few years ago. Those assholes have got quotas about how many people they'll fail and stuff.
Yeah, but the point is, a driving test does not necessarily reflect your ability. No, just wait. A driving test does not necessarily reflect your ability to drive safely. It just assesses your knowledge, basically, and your muscle memory. I think it needs to be more medical based, rather than.
Also assesses your hazard perception.
I'm not convinced it do. Only if it comes up.
Dave,
what about a simulator?
Dave, if you not take Dave, you not take. That's what they do. That's what they have to do as part of the driving test now. Is a hazard perception test.
You're not talking about the physical driving test, then, aren't you? You're talking about the theory and the. You're talking about the theory. Yes, I'm completely in agreement.
The hazard perception it's done whilst you're doing the theory. Yes, it's on like a simulated kind of thing.
But it's part of a theory test.
But other things that are affected are
it's testing your hazard perception. It's not fucking theory.
Perception is an extremely valid thing. People, as they get older, and again, some people do, some people don't. Spatial awareness, okay, is a very legitimate thing that is affected by people as they get old. Depth perception, as your vision fades, your ability to perceive depth can be reduced, and that's definitely a problem.
Fuck it. You know what I say? If someone, this is be how I do the test. Then it's this simple. I'll make it blooming simple. Then we can move on. No matter what age you are, if you're blooming 95 years or whatever it is, you can still perform a handbrake turn. You fucking got to drop. you keep your fucking license. How's that?
Without hitting anyone.
And they are fun, aren't they?
I will say this though, for like if that ended up happening, like where people have to take these tests and they can't drive any longer, I think there should be like a program for like people who can't drive. Like like Lyft should be part of it, like where they pick up older people who can't drive anymore for free, so that way they can still get around. Like that's just my idea. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about, but maybe in future, especially when we get to automated cars, I think we'll end up with something like that.
Yep.
I just want to get back on the racetrack and drive too fast. It's such a zen experience. It's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. You literally become one with the car, and suddenly you're 15 feet long and weigh 3,000 pounds and can go like fucking stink. That's
very good. Right, are we in agreement though? Apart
I've
from
only
Quinton.
crashed 3 times at the racetrack.
All right, fine, you bullies. I agree with you.
Right, so no age limit, but tests that test your actual ability.
No age limit. But if you can perform the handbrake turn, you get your fucking driver's license.
You can have that as part of the test.
No, that is the test.
That's a pretty good qualifier. That's a difficult move to do correctly.
We'll use your car to do it.
Hey, you could use my old motorcycle to do it. Then I'd really be impressed.
Oh, doing a handbrake turn on a motorcycle is not easy.
No, everybody can see the hat.
Boom, 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 boom.
You better have a really good fucking insurance policy on that thing.
Flying!
For your non-motorcycle people out in the chat, don't ever hit the rear brake on a motorcycle. Just keep your hand away from it, keep your foot away from it, depending on what bike you got. Just don't
Generally,
do it.
generally on the, most motorcycles, so the foot brakes the rear brake. But
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.